give me a moment's peace and take out the trash.
We pay taxes for people to come and take the garbage.
Hey, listen, Greenie, no more sneaking rides to the junkyard.
Yeah, man. Take a taxi when you want to go to the junkyard.
Hello and welcome to Hot Trash Unlimited, the show where me, Caleb,
and me, Joe,
joined by our special guest,
me, Alex,
sit down and have our season finale of the COVID sessions. Theaters are going to open up,
hopefully at the end of the month.
Yeah, theoretically.
By the time this episode airs, they'll be back.
Yeah, theoretically soon, but I mean, we can hold on to this episode for however long we want. And for the season finale, I want to sit down and watch what I consider to be the definitive hot trash movie.
That's
Joe,
a strong word, but...
Actually, Joe, I ask you this every week. Alex,
yes, Caleb.
What did we watch this week?
We watched League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Their powers are legendary. Their origins are unknown. Their methods are extreme. But when our future's at stake, they'll be the world's last hope.
And the game is on.
LXG, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Also known as, what was the alternate title?
The Team of Unique Men.
The Team of Unique Men. The true live, die, repeat situation for this movie.
I guess we have to get out the elephant in the room immediately.
This is not a new movie.
Was this extraordinary?
I thought that. In a way, we're talking about different elephants.
In a way, I would say so.
Yeah, this is a new movie. This came out in 2003, but it's so good.
That's a word.
In a way, I would
not describe this movie.
Okay, Joe, do your best. What's the plot of this movie?
I'm glad you asked him because I don't know how to describe it.
It's 1899 is the movie. It reminds us multiple times, but not later on. There's some inconsistencies with
only
the
for
location
about a third, maybe half.
Yeah, the first third of the
generous.
title cards.
And the first World War is being started a little early. There's a few discrepancies in the timeline, and it's by the mysterious operatic phantom.
Not the Phantom of the Opera.
Not the Phantom of the Opera.
Operatic Phantom.
An operatic phantom with an F.
With an F.
Phantom with an F.
Forget the F.
And so this guy goes around. He's recruiting unique men, as it were, famous literary characters. Some way more famous than others.
Okay, so on this team
to stop the World War.
Yeah, on this team we have Alan Quartermain, who doesn't matter anymore because we have Indiana Jones. Honestly, I get maybe they do more with Alan Quartermain over in Britain, but here in America, we improved on everything and we have Indiana Jones now.
As we do in everything American.
Amen, brother.
We got Captain Nemo from 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Moby Dick.
Arguably, he's not Moby Dick. Ishmael's in Moby Dick.
Oh.
He's just in 10,000 Leagues. Possibly the most...
But he is in.
No.
Okay.
Possibly.
Having never read either of those books.
One's a Jules Verne book, one's a whoever wrote Moby Dick.
Okay.
Anyway.
Moby Dick.
Mr. Moby Dick himself.
Then
Henry Melville?
Invisible guy, right?
Skinner, yes.
Skinner.
The Invisible Man.
I was thinking about this in the bathroom after the movie. The movie had ended literally 3 minutes before, and I already forgot everyone's name.
We do meet M before that. M is the one organizing all of this. Then, we get Invisible Man. Not the Invisible Man from the book. This is someone who
stole the potion.
Yeah, which is how it is in the comics. So...
That's one thing. This gets right from the source material.
Arguably, he or Captain Nemo are the most accurate to both their literary and their comic book counterparts, although you can't be literarily accurate with Skinner because he's not a character.
Then we get Mina, who is not Dracula. But is Dracula.
She is the wife of Jonathan Hardick, who is the main character for the first half of Dracula. And then she works with Van Helsing and some other people to kill Dracula. She is not a scientist. She is not a vampire.
Of which she is both in this.
She's just a person.
Hey guys, this is Editing Caleb jumping in real quick just to correct something I said. So, first off, I said it was like Mina Hardick. It's Mina Harker. A much simpler name than I came up with while recording this, which is slightly embarrassing. But what's slightly more embarrassing is I say she's not a vampire, which is a little oversimplifying it. So in the novel, Dracula, with the vampire named Dracula, she does get bit by Dracula. He feeds her some of his blood and she becomes vampiric. However, I don't think, and it has been a minute since I've read the novel, but I don't think she turns fully vampiric. But Van Helsing uses her connection to Dracula to hunt him down, and when they do kill him, she is healed of the curse. So, at this point in the storyline, she should not be a vampire, and she isn't in the comics, or at least I'm pretty sure she isn't. But as this whole explanation has shown, I don't always remember things that well that I read years ago. So, Mina's cooler in the comic book and in Dracula than she is here. That's what we can really take away from this. Back to the episode.
And
Dorian Gray. They go to Dorian Gray's house, who, surprise, surprise, these are not accurate to the book. If he looks at his picture in this, he disintegrates, which is okay, sure. I mean, most of the book is him looking at the picture, but fine, okay.
Why would he have it hung up on his wall?
He doesn't.
Yeah, at some point he did. There was dust around it.
Yeah, no, he said it, right?
Yeah.
He said he had it hanging, right?
He said he had it.
Yeah.
Why would you have it at the top of the staircase where you would have to look up at it as you're walking up the stairs?
So every time he walks up these stairs, he just looks at his feet.
Well, he needs
For the audio listeners, we are covering our eyes as we do that.
Well, he needs it there so that Alan Quartermain can comment on it.
And then we get Tom Sawyer.
Once again,
Secret Agent Tom Sawyer.
FBI Secret Agent Tom Sawyer.
Just a cowboy.
Yeehaw. And then we get Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, and in this,
Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, why not make Mr. Hyde the size of a building?
You did forget about the best character, though. The automobile.
and Captain Ishmael.
And Captain Ishmael.
First mate Captain Ishmael.
One of these matters
Not Captain,
more than
first
the
mate
other,
Ishmael.
There are other literary references scattered in. There's a dumb one to Around the World in 80 Days.
Oh, yeah.
It's this man.
That one was so forced.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
one was so ridiculously forced.
Around the World in 80 days.
I don't think so.
And the Phantom isn't. Oh, how operatic. I think my favorite thing. We're just going to spoil it from here on out. I think my favorite thing is obviously all these characters are wildly different from their source material, but M is both M, the Phantom, and Moriarty, and arguably does not resemble any of those.
He has a mask for when he's the Phantom.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Granted, the scarred face
There's
is
no
makeup, right? But
yeah.
There's no organ.
So he has to put
There's
on
no
the makeup
opera.
and then put on the mask.
This is a movie of plot twists. Everything is a plot twist, and none of them matter. This is a movie that you should not watch for the plot. I think everything in the plot makes sense. I think because everything you see in this movie pays off in some way. However, that
Chekhov's movie.
Yeah, it is Chekhov's movie, but that doesn't make it good. This is a movie you just need to sit back and let the absurdity wash over you.
And by God, is it absurd.
So wonderfully absurd.
Friends, what was the most absurd moment in this wonderful movie?
Oh, I already know my answer. The submarine going through Venice really killed me. I cannot express how much I loved that.
The shape of that submarine changes so much because even to get into the
source of
dock-
the ocean, it's like Cloud's gonna put it on his back or something.
But like even to get into the docks when they first see it, like it would have had to navigate other ships and stuff, and it's like the size of a city.
Yeah. And then it just rises and keeps rising out of the ocean.
Mine also has to do with Venice. It's not a car chase. There's nothing chasing them. It's the car just going.
They're literally
the automobile.
Automobile.
They're literally just driving through the like entryway of one building the entire time.
And multiple pillars.
Yeah.
And Tom Sawyer, how does he know how to drive this thing?
Well, you see, down here in America, we've already had these automobiles for 5 years at this point.
It's like driving the tractor on the farm back home.
There's so much about this movie that I find absurd.
Okay, good.
But I think the most absurd thing to me, and it happens early on, and it just sets the tone. And I know I made a big deal of this when we watched it, but the bazooka that has a spring. There's a spring-loaded bazooka
that they don't use. There's no point for the spring to be there.
No, but you know what? I love it. That just shows that shows what the whole movie's gonna be. It's gonna be stupid, uncool flourishes of style with no point.
The dude getting flattened by the dude getting Looney Tunes flattened by the tank at the very beginning is pretty fun.
That's pretty great.
The tank is also up there just because they are not behaving like normal people would. Normal people see that, they'd probably run away.
These people, they're just in front of it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and they're running down the street banging with their clubs. I'm like, you're not going to do anything. This is metal. You know what metal is.
The 20th Century Fox logo existing in a time before the 20th century.
That was fun. I like that.
I like the fade.
They were just getting ready to make those movies.
That makes no sense at all.
The transformation of Dr. Jekyll.
Every single time.
Where it's just a bunch of flashes and then slightly sped up. So what did y'all think about the wonderful action scenes?
Wonderful, you say.
I'd
call them extraordinary.
I'd say they're unique.
I mean, they were weird action scenes. I don't know what to say. The one at the end was horrible because there was just like a million things going on.
Every cut that happened in the library, that first Dorian Gray's house, where it's pages everywhere.
After like the initial like plot stuff, it goes to recruiting Quartermain in Africa, and he has a fight scene in like his little lodge that he's staying in, and it's fun because it's him.
Little is a
big lodge.
Pretty big lodge.
And it's him versus these three guys, and it's a fist fight. There's some guns.
It's stilted old man Sean Connery.
Yeah. But it's fun, and like I think it's on par with like The Mummy or The Mummy Returns and slapstick goofy action. Like he traps a dude with a table, he rams a guy into a rhino horn hung on the wall, and then we do get like a Matrix-esque bullet time with him sniping down this one guy. But then once everyone else is introduced, it's constantly, oh no, we have so many characters that we have to pay attention to.
Let's just throw everyone against the wall. I don't care which wall. I don't care where it is. Just
it's in the library. They also have to introduce everyone's powers, so it's even more confusing. At the end, they have all of the reverse people. So they have reverse Mr. Hyde, reverse Skinner,
Abomination, and the dude's brother from Invisible Man. Also, Skinner was horribly burned. I just forgot about that. You could like see the burns on his skin, and then he was fine.
Yeah.
Is that really where we're starting with the logical problems of this movie?
You can also see what he's drinking.
That is true.
At one
point. I actually like that though. But it brings up way more questions.
Where does it stop?
But I do like that.
What are there any characters that stood out to y'all that you enjoyed?
No. Ishmael.
No.
I
genuinely enjoyed no. Because I had fun with everyone.
Mina's acting.
Mina is pretty terrible.
Dorian!
So I've only read a bit of the comic book. I've read the first 2 volumes. She is the best character in them. She leads the team. She's not a vampire or a scientist. She's just someone who's very good at like getting together people to go up against supernatural threats.
People with extraordinary powers.
Yeah, but
unique men.
Honestly, I am so baffled by every decision they make in this movie with her. Why do they make her a vampire? Why is she not the leader of the team?
Why do they curl and then curl her hair?
In the matter of a scene.
Oh, no, she was unconscious.
But most importantly, I can accept all of this. But why did they pick that actress? She is so bad. And this is a movie full of bad actors. I would say that Sean Connery is good in the way that Sean Connery is being Sean Connery, right? And then Skinner is, I think he's fine.
Oh, what was that?
I would actually go Captain Nemo's also good. Save your bullets, these men are mine.
Right after Dorian.
Dorian! Save your bullets, these men are mine!
So, like, no one in the cast is good, but her and Dorian Gray are especially awful.
The 2 ones who have, like, the plot relevance to each other, where I guess they're former lovers.
Well, you got to nail her one more time.
I didn't think it'd be literally. What's the one-liners in this movie?
What's the worst line in that scene? Because that scene just escalates.
That one's pretty bad.
That one's probably it for me.
It does end with probably the worst. Although I also like she stabs him in the crotch and then he goes, "If that wasn't permanent, I'd be very upset."
But they also don't show that it's the crotch. You have to infer that it was the crotch.
Yes, but everything
know
in
it's
that
in the
scene
lower
is
body
sexual
somewhere,
innuendo.
yeah.
I like,
Oh, man.
as a kid, I liked Skinner.
His makeup's so
I don't
goofy.
know why.
Like,
I
sometimes
love
he's
it,
just a CG man, and then the rest of the time, I finished putting it on the rest of my head, so I'm a real guy.
Sometimes
I love
you
it when
see
it's
the actor's
just his
neck.
face and it's floating.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive effect,
It kind of is, actually, yeah.
mainly when you compare it to Dr. Jekyll.
Mr. Hyde, weirdly enough, got better throughout the movie for me. I don't know if it's because I grew numb or they weren't. I don't know.
Well, okay, towards the end, you saw the worst thing that you can
Abomination.
possibly see in the movie.
Abomination.
And so when you have that standing next to him, he looks pretty good.
I'd say his face looks
But-
good too, throughout the entire movie.
Hyde?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think
I'd say
some of
so.
that is. I think
the beginning.
I think they mix practical and CGI.
Yeah, I think it's fairly obvious that they do. Like, those transformation sequences, like, at a certain point become practical.
But yeah, then once you get to the reverse Jekyll and Hyde, who is a character who they introduce in the finale. And they have to do so much legwork where it's like, I have to run in here and give him this, and then I have to look gleefully while I shoot, just to make sense I would chug the Dr. Hyde potion.
No, he doesn't chug it. He pours it on his face. None of that goes in his mouth.
It turns into
He probably
like,
had 3 ounces that actually went down his throat.
how would you describe, since we are in an audio medium, how would you describe reverse Mr. Hyde to people?
Hey, have you seen The Incredible Hulk 2008 starring Ed Norton? You remember Abomination? Now, what if one of his arms was way bigger and he had a baby arm for the other one? And still tiny legs.
Have you played Arkham Asylum? You remember the final boss in that? Yep.
I stand by. I think, weirdly enough, maybe it's the textures, maybe it's the fingers. He looks like the bad guys from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, no, I
The
saw
jackals,
that too.
Yeah.
I saw it in the face mostly.
His face, what did it make me think of? It made me think of something where I was like, we kept saying it was a Titan from Attack on Titan. That's what it was. It's because he had like the buzz cut. That's still there when he's a monstrosity.
It's like how when Thunderbolt Ross turns into the whichever version of the Hulk he
Red
turns
Hulk.
into, it keeps the mustache.
Yeah.
Is there anything in this that y'all found good? Or at least liked on a non-ironic level? And it's fine if you say no.
On a non-ironic level?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Man, I'm trying. No.
That's perfectly fine. I think there are 2 things in this. I'll go 3. I like the design of not necessarily the model of the Nautilus that you see going around, but the car and the inside of the Nautilus. Some of the tech there is cool. I think Captain Nemo is genuinely trying his darndest at all points.
He sure is.
And he has the least terrible dialogue.
He's the most serious.
Yeah.
They don't give him any one-liners. That's the main thing.
Then Sean Connery has one line at the end while he lays dying, and I'm like, oh, you're delivering this like you would in a good movie. That reminds me of good movies you were in. They're surprisingly far and few between.
Yeah, I'd say all that's pretty fair.
Do you think Sean Connery was wise when he decided that after this movie came out, he should retire from acting?
No, because they teased a sequel. I want League of Extraordinary Gentlemen 2.
Do you know how much I would pay to see League of Extraordinary Gentlemen 2?
Honestly, I would too.
The average movie ticket, but maybe slightly more.
Quite possibly 2, because I might see it twice.
1 month of Regal Unlimited.
Beagle Unlimited.
Sorry, Beagle Time
Shush
Limited.
yourself.
There are 2 movies that'll get me back to theaters: New Mutants and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen 2.
And Tenet.
Oh God, I just realized with Tenet movie, that means they'll probably push New Mutants back again. My life
sorry.
will constantly be unfulfilled.
Caleb's going to have a full sleeve. It went from just like a tattoo right here. It's going to be a full sleeve of all the dates just like crossed out.
Now, throw your minds back to 2003. We were 6.
When we were 6.
Yeah, I was 7, y'all were 6.
I was 6, yes.
Yeah, but imagine we were slightly older. The movies that we had come out, we would have had X-Men and Spider-Man by then. We would have had The Matrix and the Star Wars prequels. And that's in that like era of blockbusters. How do you think this holds up?
This is comparable to Star Wars prequels in terms of effects.
Oh, come on. The Star
Really,
Wars
I would just
prequels
say
look
it's
so
actual
much
clones.
better.
At certain moments.
They're at least lit better. I think.
Yeah. It's the lighting that really throws all this off.
This is, it's so gray and the lighting is so harsh. It's,
Yeah.
Every time they're in a city, Or like a building, it's just gray everywhere. Nothing
Gray
can
and
have
black.
color. Nothing.
It's gray, then white because they're on the Nautilus, then white because they're in the Arctic.
When they're in the house, it's nice. When they're in Dorian's house, it's nicer.
Yeah, but then it turns white because of all the pages flying everywhere.
That's true.
I think this actually is elevated by watching it post Avengers. Because I think you see...
Well, keep the comparison going,
See
please.
where the cinematic universe could have gone. What would the Avengers of this movie be?
Well, I think you see how much of a mess this movie is in comparison to Avengers, because like Avengers also has to bring up all these characters. They also have a Hulk character who's on a, enclosed space and they don't want him to go wild and all this stuff. They also have like these characters who have past histories with themselves and they all have reputations. But this just feels like this mirror universe where it's like, this is what happened instead of Avengers. Like, obviously it did. This preceded Avengers.
9 years.
Yeah, by 9 years. But it's like, this walked so Avengers could run. Being like super pre.
This crawled, tried to get up, and fell flat on its face so Avengers could run.
See, I think now that we have seen the formula done better, we still have only got one example of a good team movie out there, like superhero team movie.
How dare you? Suicide Squad exists.
We have two examples. We have two examples of a good superhero team movie out there. But now that we see what a good one's like, it makes the bad parts of this just shine even brighter. Like little tiny diamonds in King Solomon's mind. I don't know what they got in King Solomon's mind. I've never read the book because no one cares about Alan Quartermain. Why is he the main character?
Are you okay? What just happened to you?
It's a weird thing where it's like, I do genuinely like this, and I watched this before the comic.
Mm-hmm.
But the comics also
How
really
are the
good.
comics?
Weirdly pervy, but also pretty good.
Okay.
Like Mina's a pretty like solid character. I like what they do with Quartermain and Nemo and stuff. Because what they do is they really lean into like, what would these characters be like post novel? So Quartermain is just an alcoholic who's like burnt out and stuff. Captain Nemo like is coming to terms with the fact that he's done some really shady stuff in the past. Mina is basically doing this kind of to catch the high of Dracula. It's really interesting.
I mean, it's an Alan Moore book. It's going to be like, at the very least, good.
Yeah. And like he continued it into the modern day. He can't use the characters, obviously, from the modern day. But he has like analogs for like Harry Potter and stuff. It's a really good idea that he carried well, and he was able to not make it a pastiche like in here. Like he doesn't have like, this guy got around the world in 80 days. A phantom, isn't that operatic? But also, like, as much as I admire the comic, this is so much more fun.
To a point.
Okay, because I've been asking questions based off of my enjoyment of this movie. But what are like the worst parts about it to you guys?
We were still in the first act for like a solid 45 minutes.
They have to have an inciting incident. For
I mean,
every
I
character.
know,
No,
but
I agree. It's bad. The way they handle it, it's bad.
Like, knock it down to 90 minutes. I think it gets a lot more bearable. At 110, though, man. And then all of a sudden, we're in the third act. I didn't realize we were there.
There was a part where it just felt really slow. I don't remember which part. I think it was when they were on the boat.
It's
though.
sporadic.
It is like, a little bit sporadic, but at the same time, I was also like it's both slow and it's going by faster than I thought it would.
It's
odd.
It's a new driver who's learning how to use the gas and the brake in a parking lot with all the cones, and they're like, ugh.
And he's not quite crashing.
No,
but he's kind of throwing it around.
He's hit a
bit.
couple of the traffic cones at this point, and it's like he's revving the gas. He's like, oh god, and then he slows down, and then you speed up for like another couple seconds.
I get what you mean though, because like after they get Hyde, there is a good amount of just character scenes before they get to Venice.
Mm-hmm.
But all those scenes are short. But there are so many of them.
Yeah, they're all like right next to each other.
The character development feels very long.
Yeah.
But it goes by like, oh, now we're with Dorian. Now we're with Alan Quartermain. Now we're finding out that Captain Nemo worships Kali Ma. It's the one thing that doesn't have a payoff, but I'm fine with it. What about you, Alex?
I thought you were just joking about that. That was
No, he says this is Kali.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
worshiping
really?
God
Yeah.
himself.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't pay attention to much of the dialogue.
Don't need to. Really don't need to. I think, genuinely good things about this movie. I do think they don't waste anything. Everything gets paid off. But also, I think from a visual perspective, you can follow this without having to know the plot, even though the plot is way too complicated.
It's so predictable too. I called him being the bad guy from that first scene. Yep, he's clearly the bad guy.
Is he M, or is he the Phantom, or is he Moriarty, or is he someone else because Moriarty died and I was reborn that day?
So is it hot trash? The answer is yes.
It's been a while since I was on this. How do you define hot trash again?
Oh, it's kind of a vague term. No, I would say...
I can't remember if it was intentional or not.
I would say...
completely unintentional.
It's never going to be intentional from the directors, usually.
Oh, no, Satanic Panic existed.
True. I also think that is hot trash, but that's also it gets pretty close to being good. I don't remember how we rated it.
It was hot trash.
But it's something where it is enjoyably bad. It takes itself seriously, but the filmmaking doesn't necessarily do that. So
okay.
So in Ready or Not, the characters take the situation seriously, but the filmmaking knows it's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
That helps.
Well, I'd say, it's hot trash.
I love this movie. I would not love hot trash movies if it was not for this
If it
one.
wasn't for this one.
Honestly, it's probably this one and then Adam West Batman, even though I wouldn't say that's hot trash. That's just kind of
I was about to say,
fun.
that's just kind of the tone of it.
But that kind of set me up to be oh, cool, we don't have to take these big
Goofy
figures
is
seriously.
Not everything has to be
goofy is
serious.
fun.
Yeah.
But this did kind of one time I realized that, oh wait, people don't like this movie, and I had to reassess it, and so I rewatched it.
This killed Sean Connery's career.
Yeah, because I saw it as a kid, and I liked it as a kid because I was a child. And
yeah,
then,
I was wondering how you liked it as a kid.
Yeah, and I saw it on TV, and then I rewatched it later, and I'm like, wait, no, this is fun, and it is bad, and those two can exist in the same realm. This is like I said at the top, this is the definitive hot trash movie. Oh. Outside, there's a funeral outside, and there's a stereotypical African witch doctor, and Tom Sawyer put a gun on a grave.
Hey, is the dirt moving?
The dirt moved. The dirt moved. I have to go outside and see what this is about. Joe, can you wrap up the episode?
I hope by the next time that we record, the theaters are open. Pandemic will still be a thing, but I hope new movies are coming out and we can continue this. I hope New Mutants is the next thing on the list after this.
Sorry, I just got back from the funeral. New Mutants is not a hot trash movie. How dare you?
We will be recording it on the podcast. We will be recording it.
How
on
dare
the
you? I have a veto left. I have one veto. Our year's almost up.
Wait, but your veto is to just not watch the movie.
No, it's not to record. I'm going to.
No. The veto's not
the
watch the
veto's
movie.
to not watch the movie.
The veto is different, sir. We have to mutually agree on not recording.
Sir, I remember when y'all made this podcast, okay? And I do remember that was the term of the agreement.
Okay, I will watch New Mutants. I mean, obviously, I will watch New Mutants. I will probably watch, leave, get a ticket, and go back in. But I do not agree with your decision. I will respect it as your co-host. But under duress.